Hello and welcome to this tutorial where I'm going to show you how you can create, or after, I should say, after you've created a custom symbols library, how you then can load them into Illustrator so you have access to them. So there's a couple of ways that we can do this. Number one is if I have saved the file, and so as you can see here, this is it says popsicles.ai. That was the actual file that I created in the previous tutorial. So if I double click on this, it will launch Illustrator by default. So let me switch to my Illustrator screen to show you. And it will open it as a blank page, but you can see here are my symbols that I created. Let's go back to our desktop for a second. And another way that we can do this, though, is if you double click on it, you'll have access to the library. So here's another library that I created. So if I double click on it, let's go back to Illustrator so we can show you. I have access to another one that I've done. So you can just double click on the files and it will open it up in Adobe Illustrator for you. But say you don't want to do that and say you want to always have access to them regardless when you open up Illustrator or not. You don't want to have to find these files each and every time. Well, there's a way to do that too. It's going to require you, though, to be able to get into access of your hard drive into the applications folder for Adobe Illustrator. Once you're in there, you can open the presets, and mine is for English since I'm in the United States. But when I click on it, you'll see all these defaults here, the brushes. So if you create custom brushes or download brushes and things like that, you would load them into your brushes folder. So here's, action scripts and things like that. Well, what we want, obviously, is symbols. And you can see right here under symbols, there's the ice cream symbol that I created. If I want this popsicle one in there, then I would drag the popsicle one in there too. Now, for this particular case, I have to have access to it. Most of y'all may or may not have passwords to it, but there it is, it's accessed. And so now when I go back to Illustrator, let's, we have to quit Illustrator and relaunch it. But then once you relaunch Illustrator, you'll have access to the file. So let's share our Illustrator screen. Let's create a new document. And my symbols is open. Symbol libraries are open. I'm going to open a symbol library. And right down here at the bottom, actually, let's increase this a little so you can see it, and move this up a little so you can see it. When I go to open symbol library, there's popsicles, and it opens it up as its own custom symbol library. So two ways that you can have access to a custom symbol library that you create. One is either just downloading the file and double clicking on it. But if you want to install it into the computer yourself, then you would have to have access to the presets files for the software. But that's how you install and use and have access to your custom symbol libraries.